Please find a comfortable seat. Settle in. In the Yoga Sutras, they have this. It kind of appears to me like a progression called the 8limbed yoga, and this progression, this meditative progression, begins with just choosing a posture, a place to hold the body still. And so you just take a moment to check in, make sure that the body can be still and not be a burden on your consciousness for the practice. If you need to make an adjustment, you go ahead. And then in the progression, it says turn to the subtle energy and start to just be aware of it. Try to smooth it out and regulate it so that it doesn't disturb you, but does provide you with some awareness and attentiveness. We sometimes do this by breathing. You can just start to realize that you're breathing long and slow through the nose. Now, there's lots of different ways to control or manipulate the breathing. But in a non dual practice, I think often it's best just to recognize that the breath is long and slow. And you can count the breath, do various details with the breath. But for now, I think just feel and witness a long, slow breath through the nose. It can be as soft and light as is natural. You can let it go down deep into the belly or just stay softly in the lungs, the ribs. Let the breath be present, but again, soft enough that it allows you to start to take your attention away from any external stimuli that's not needed. This practice is guided somewhat, so you may still hear those cues at times, but you may not need the eyes to be open, or even if they are slightly open, we don't need to be really taking in to our cognition what we're seeing. There's just open eyes or closed eyes. In the same way, a sound might come into our space that could pull our attention. And even the reaching out for the meaning of what these words may be, they don't really need that level of external reaching that your ears will simply hear. And that the striving for outwardness can be turned inward. That our proprioception of our body in space can just be left alone. And we sort of create a withdrawing of our attention, more internal towards our subtle consciousness, rather than our consciousness that is based on our five senses. To turn our attention towards our more subtle consciousness will increase the volume on the emotions and the thoughts, and then even what's deeper than thoughts. So just take a few moments now to let the breath be at a regulated pace that keeps you relaxed yet alert, long and slow through the nose. And with that attentiveness, turn it toward the subtle consciousness that is underneath the five sense consciousness, the realm of emotion, feeling, mood, thought, and deeper. You can think of it like an eggshell. You could place your consciousness and attention on the outside of that eggshell looking out, or you could place your attention and consciousness inside the egg, or a more subtle, inwardly turned awareness. Now, you can choose any of these subtle things to focus on, to really divest extraneous attention and hone it. You could look at just the emotions, the moods, the thoughts. But today we're going to focus on the aspect that is watching. What is this watcher? We know it's there, but where? What? And so just with effort, turn your attentiveness and try to see, try to look for. Don't work too hard, but just give that attention that you've gathered toward focusing on the watcher, on what is aware. It's not about solving a problem or figuring something out. It's just about the ability to stay attentive and focus on this one thing for a duration of time, just a few moments longer than, I don't know, what a squirrel would be able to do, or a puppy, or your average American scrolling social media. And so we're just building this internal energy that we're cultivating, and we're holding it on this very subtle thing, the witness, the watcher. We are putting a little bit of effort to stay there just a little longer than if we get carried away by some other thought. If the watcher is too subtle, you could pick your thoughts and just watch them. You could pick your breath and just watch that. Still subtle, but a little more tangible. It's okay if that focus gets split or spread. But once that happens, soften into your breathing again, in and out through the nose. Relax, be at ease. Feel your attention turn inward instead of outward in the five senses. Once you've turned inward, wait for it. There's no rush. Trust me, you're not going anywhere. Once that energy is cultivated inward a little bit, just look the best you can for this thing that is watching. Stare at it. Hold it there as long as you can. Don't strain, but focus. You're not trying to move toward it, just observe, witness this witnessing. Be aware that there is awareness. See if it has any edges, any shape or size. And should your focus be pulled in other directions, no problem. Really, it doesn't matter. Just start the process again, humbly, breathing gently through the nose, and then taking your energy inward, away from the five senses. As you give yourself a chance to look once again at what is looking. Let yourself rest a moment and just notice how the witnessing is still there. It's just present, even when you're not practicing around it. And after we've been able to focus a little bit, hold our attention on this thing for a little while. Again, it comes and goes. It may have already naturally happened, but I'll invite you to consider this genuine, and I mean it, see if it's genuine, curiosity, wonderment. What is that? It's like having this internal wow around this thing that you're focusing on. Cultivate, nurture that genuine investigative quality. You don't need any lab tools. You need to go read any research. You're already in the field. Let that wonder permeate this awareness of awareness. Let it grow into perhaps fascination as you will start to contemplate and deepen your understanding this way. What is this watching, this watcher? And the effort to focus on it will transmute into an understanding about what it is. Your wonder or fascination may forget, may dissipate. And so you might go back to the focusing, back to the collecting your energy, back to the soft, subtle breathing. There's no right or wrong. There's no achieving or some goal or finish line. You're not going anywhere. Neither is this witnessing, at least by my understanding. It just keeps on being there. And so, as you feel ready and calmed, you soften the breath through the nose, gathering some energy, and you turn it inward, away from the five sense reality. Then you might start to focus that inward energy right on the watcher until you somehow want to get even closer. You can't physically get closer to it. And feel the development of that curiosity. What is it? Where is it? No need for impatience. No need to ask someone else or read about it in a book. Just doing your own field research. Watch the watcher. Like how you could watch the waves crash at the beach. It doesn't take much effort at all. In this progression, this method found in the Yoga Sutras, they say that there's one more stage, but this stage has variations. The first variation, as we sit and exist and dwell in our fascination for this subtle object, this witnessing, you may find yourself so enmeshed with it, so consumed with what it is, that you lose this sense of feeling separate from it. There might still be a few thoughts, but those thoughts will just be about it. They'll help insulate it somehow. This is one variation. You don't have to do anything except keep falling in love with this watcher, with this thing that you're observing. Another variation is that we're so fascinated, so interested. What is this watcher? This awareness that doesn't go away. That again, we lose sense of feeling separate from it. We're so absorbed in what it is, and there's no thoughts around it or about it. There's just watching. See if you have any moments. They'll happen naturally as your interest and courage and fascination builds. Absorbed with some thoughts about it, and absorbed with no thoughts about it. Just watching. Don't try to force it. It's not a goal, it's not an accomplishment. It's just this thing that happens if you move through the progression. There's another stage. Sometimes we get so absorbed in the object. This object is the watching, that not only does the sense of separation disappear, but the thing disappears too. The whole thing sort of absolves or resolves. Time may or may not have lapsed. You wouldn't know. That we can go so into something, so into this watching, we forget all about all of it. There's nothing we can do about it. It'll just happen naturally. If you feel like you've got a sense of effort, a sense of doership, best to just focus. Focus on the watcher and feel that interest, that fascination growing. What is it? A deep joy to be with it. You won't want to hear what your ears hear or see what your eyes see. As much as you are drawn to it, it draws you in. And the sense of doing will disappear. Moving through the progression, you just start with that subtle breath in and out through the nose. Let it give you a little bit of energy to turn inward on the subtle life, away from the five physical senses. Within your subtle life, focus on the aspect of the witness, that which watches, that which is aware. Focus your attention on it. Until you feel this growing interest to understand it deeply. And then just see where you go. Relax from the practice.